And here we are for race 2, reverse grid. Once Twitch actually decided it wanted to bloody stream. So, we'll give you a rundown of the grid in a moment, once it stops being a plum. There's Victor on pole, Kotze, Throttle, Loyal, Trigger, Nick, Stevie, Unfolded, Raven, Bradders, Viper, Shin, Takata and Yami. So with the speed that Takata had on the first lap, I'm now going to jump on board and see how he gets through the first few corners. Contact from Shin, which in turn turns him into Yami. But he takes the inside line. Viper's going to be involved in a Ferrari sandwich. He is. They all three get through it okay. This is going to put them into the faster drivers now. Already overtaken Laurie, Shin and Viper. A lot of puffer smokes going on up front. Oh, as he gets punted from Shin. Looks like Shin knows Laurie. Punted by Laurie. The Lego leg of doom kicked him in the rear end. Laurie comes out at the end. Don't think there's going to be any damage on that one though. Yeah, it was straight in the rear. He got away with it. And he's still in 10th. As Throttle lights up the tyres, Unfolded has to take evasive actions, but Unfolded's now got the run. I think Unfolded's going to get through before the corner. No, they're going to go side by side into the stadium. Takata likes the look of both of them. There's contact everywhere. I'm assuming it's a restart. I'm going to say restart. Yeah, restart. In that case, I'm going to pause the stream. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm just going to mute my mic. So, it appears somebody disconnected, hence the restart. So what we'll do is we'll just wait for them to start. There's no point in jumping out. They should be relatively quick, because, you know, they've already been out and then back in. So, I think everyone's back in. Laurie's not readied. Kotze's just loading up. Guessing he must have been one of the little mother truckers that had an incident with disconnects. I think it was probably Nick and Kotze, I would say. So I'm going to jump straight on board with Takata. He seemed to have a good start. Let's see if we can get him to repeat the action. If you put me on another camera, I'm going to punch her. Why can't you remember how I like it? Remember it. I just can't do it, can it? That was a lovely move from Takata, straight round the outside of Shin. Yami's on the inside, Laurie's held back a bit. I think he's remembered the pun in race 1. Oh, fastest lap Laurie himself. Good, respectful driving there from those three, Yami, Takata. See the difference in tunes, I believe, as Laurie's going to have a go on the inside of Laurie. Brakes there. I think everyone got away. The odd contact you expect in a 12 Pearson grid as Shin gets left with the two as well. Carter's taken up 2-3 spaces. Contact again from Shin. Slightly different braking. Out front, it looks like I'm going to have to move this. I'm going to jump on board with Nick as he's side by side with Yami into the braking zone. Raven's pulled himself up to 8th. Triggers on the gravel. He's been overtaken. Carter's got on the inside of Nick. Who's that on the grass over there? I can't see the blooming name. I think that's Bradders. Bradders was on the grass. He's now in front of Trigger. It's unfolded to Carter. Yami and Nick are behind. Shin is a few seconds behind those. Interesting perspective. I'll jump out in front as the Carter and unfolded have a slight tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. Nick's going to have a look down the inside of Yami. You can see this move coming. So who's going to get the traction as unfolded contact. Yami backs out slightly. He gives Nick the line. Nick's going to close the gap on unfolded coming down the straight. We head into the hairpin. Brake, 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 brake. Got it done. On the inside, and unfolded's going to have the line and probably the traction coming out, and he does. See who's going out in front. Victor's got a half a second lead from Kotze and Throttle and Stevie. Raven's in 5th now. Loyal 6th. Loyal 7th. Trigger 8th. Takata. Nick. See how Loyal's getting on now. Loyal's on. That's not Loyal. That's Loyal. Loyal's on the back of Bradders. Loyal had a really bad race 1. I think he can turn it round though. Raven finds himself in a bit of free air with Bradders just behind him. Top 2 from race 1. Currently 5th and 6th in race 2 with a reverse grid. Looks like Bradders has got a little bit better traction coming out the final corner, but just cannot do anything about it. Stevie's getting close to the back of Throttle. I think Bradders is looking at Raven. He is looking at Raven. Keeps it on the inside. Raven will have the inside line, but I don't think it's the line you want to take. They keep it clean. There's a gap between them. The straight drag race into the braking zone to the hairpin. Not going to get much closer than that. So again, lovely respectful driving. Raven got the better traction. Raven's got the inside line, but I think the outside's where you want to be. Same here, outside's where you want to be. Going to be no quarter arse or given on this one. Raven goes around the outside. He needs to get that stop before the gravel. He does. I think he's going to lose too much ground to make this fight remain interested. No, he doesn't. Pushes his way through. He knows he's got Takata on his rear end as well. Raven, Takata and Bradders. A lot of smoke up front. It's like a workings man club in the 80s. Bradders and Raven have been side by side for virtually a lap now. Raven's going to have no way of staying on track here. Takata's come down the inside. Takata, have a bit of that sunshine. These two were too closely fighting. Somebody else throws their nose in as well. Raven gets a bit light on the rear. Looks like he's going to open himself for attack with Bradders. Still on the outside now. Ooh, squirrely there from Takata. Interestingly, how this fight hasn't caused the other guys to lead by so much. As Stevie's just on the inside, now the outside. Kotze's going to get the move under braking. Stevie's going to remain side by side as we come into the latter part of the lap. Kotze backed out of that one. Probably wanted to remain on track and legitimately driving. Top 14 are still relatively close. Let's go back a bit further, see how Loyal's getting on in 10th. Surprised if there's some pits soon, or if Nick's opened up a pit window. Taka and Brads are still having a fight. Raven's still just behind them. He's having a look around, but I think we'll stick with this one for a bit longer. Ooh, as Kotze's going to lose a few spots here. It's given Raven and Bradders a slight advantage on Taka. Can Kotze get the braking done? He can. Ooh, Kotze didn't get that turned in. May have cost Raven a bit of time with him in the battle with Takata and Bradders. Raven looks like he's got the slight advantage. Takata's keeping it well. He's going to have the undercut. No, Raven did well there as well. Just see where Kotze's. Kotze's not the car behind. Kotze's lost another 2 spots. It's not worked out the way Kotze planned it, but Bradders is slightly further ahead than he was. Giving him a bit of space. Bradders and Raven throw into the pits. Gives Takata a bit of advantage at the moment. Have a look elsewhere. It's gone to second place throttle, chasing Victor. Stevie's not far behind him as well. Loyal's on looking on the inside and the outside of the boss. Stay loyal. You beat up the boss, you could find yourself sacked. Oh, he's close to that wall on the outside. Oh, he's not far behind, but I can't help but think Loyal could have ended up with a lot more points in this series. In these two races, sorry. Loyal throws himself into the pit, takes the, we'll call that the cheating line. So Raven's lost a bit of whack to Bradders. 1.5 seconds behind him. Nick's now on the back of Cotsey. Viper's a further 3.5 seconds behind. We've got to believe with the traction coming out of the corner, he'll make an indent. Nick is creeping up to the back of Cotsey, split by split. I think the front two are getting close. Stevie and Froll. As Throttle throws himself into the pits, never mind, they were getting close. Tackers and Tackers and Ravens, their fight starts again. It looks like Bradders has got a bit of an advantage now. As we are over halfway in this race now. Raven drops a bit deep under braking to give himself the traction coming through the final couple of corners. Which you see slightly stretches out the lead with a better traction. They've still got a 3-second advantage from the car behind. Nick's still having a look at Cotsey. Cotsey's just taking that defensive line later on the brakes, make sure he touches the apex. Hugs the corner round, doesn't give the car behind Nick any space to go. Perfect defensive driving there from Cotsey. No, he takes the line through. Nick's going to close. Cotsey didn't take the defensive line on that one. He wanted to gain the traction as he comes out of the corner. Too much wheel spin. Could give Nick a run. Nick's trying to take the undercut again. He's going to pull alongside. They head into the final few corners into the stadium. Nick's got him on the inside, but Cotsey could get the outside run, and he's going to get the inside corner coming through the Mercedes Stadium malarkey. Call that a Vettel corner. Oh, I'm assuming Cotsey was heading towards the pits. Probably should have made that known, but then again, even if you make it known, doesn't mean the car's got to move out of his way. As Bradders is coming up to Shin. Shin's staying out a bit further. Shin's going to find himself in a fight. pulling over. A bit too far pulling over by the looks of it. Ooh, that looks scrappy at best. As Throttle takes the scenic route. Shin tried to throw it up the inside of Bradders. That worked out not very well at all, Shin, mate. Bless you, fella, it's always worth a go though, mate. If you're not racing, you're not bothering. Bradders has again got a bit of a gap. Victor behind him. The car and Raven are still having a good scrap. Let's stay with that one for a little while. Keep looking around. Carter's on the outside. Of course, they've lost the advantage. I mean, you know, the guys in front have pitted. Throttle goes through the inside of Shin. Stays on the inside. The Carter and Raven are still scrapping bit by bit. But they wish they'd have stayed out just a bit longer. Shin goes defensive. Raven's on the inside of Shin. They've got a good 4 seconds on Yami. Contact between Raven, Shin, and contact with Takata at the back. Always more contact there. Takata's going to feel the effects of that one because he's going to have to slow down. Got taken over by Yami. Takata waited, but I think he didn't realise Shin was throwing himself in the pit. Just that sort of thing you just think looks a bit messy. You know how good these guys can race. Raven's on the outside of Throttle, gets the move done. That was a lovely move. We only saw the end of it, but lovely move from Raven. What a difference a good qualifying makes, eh mate? With 4 laps to go. Unfolded in front, Stevie, Victor, Bradders is out in front. It's whether Raven and Taka can make an advantage here, but Taka's had to drop behind Yami. As Throttle has a go on the inside. Oh, he doesn't get his braking done. That's going to give Raven the opportunity from Unfolded. Oh, unfortunately, Throttle was a bit ambitious there. And it's given the advantage to Raven. Finds himself into 4th. A couple of seconds behind Stevie. Of course, these series are fully stewarded, so if you're unhappy with any of the moves you see, if the drivers are unhappy with the moves that they see, they can, as we come board and Taka, just as I say that, hits the rear end of Yami. I get the feeling Taka's driving angry now. He's definitely got the speed, the way he closes that gap. The speed is there. Slight contact. Probably best just to back off like he has, get the run through the corner. They both take the outside curb very generously. See, look at 2 races, almost inch perfect. Unfolded is on the attack on Raven again. I must have missed, I thought that was Throttle. And they're closing the gap out in front. Yeah, this is just 2.3 behind. But it looks like there's been contact in front. Yeah, they've closed the gap by half a second. Victor and Stevie, all the while Bradders is rubbing his hands together at the minute. With all the drama elsewhere, he's just taking advantage of Nusroff. Folded's all over the back of Raven. And I've got to believe Unfolded would have caught up to Victor. Potentially it's a podium lost by Unfolded due to contact. Not his own contact either. Looks like he's going to stay in front. Let's have a look further back. Why does this thing always lie to me? Is Yami still on the back attacker? Back attacker. Techers. Kotze, Nick's find himself in 12th. As I can only assume Yami's disconnected. Driven straight up. Battery failure maybe? Well, whatever he's got a whole bunch of damage. Go back on board with Unfolded and see how he's chasing down Raven. Bradders looks like he's got the fastest lap as well, according to the stats. As they've pulled one hell of a gap into Victor and Stevie, with 2 and a bit laps to go. Break into the stadium. Cracking line from Unfolded. Gets the brakes done. He's going to sweep in left-hander. Put your power on, try and get the traction up. I'm assuming that black line is Yami disconnecting. Ooh, as Raven runs out wide. Raven's chasing down podium number 2. He's closing the gap. There's a lap and 3/4 to go as Victor pulls in inside of Stevie. Raven closes that gap under braking. Almost like the other 2 cars I had ABS on. Raven cruises round the outside of Victor. Victor tries to take in and pull in the toe. I think Unfolded might be having an opinion on that as well. Just going to look behind and see if Unfolded pokes his nose out. He does. But so does Victor. Raven had to pull out wide to avoid contact with Victor. Great driving from the 2 of them, knowing where your opponents are. Opponents, rivals, other cars. Raven should get this move done under braking. Looks like a slight puff of smoke from the rear end of Victor. Again, this appears to be the fight. I'm going to jump on board with Unfolded and watch it unfold. All pun intended. Just again avoid contact. Attacker, how close is he to throttle? Not really, it's 0.7 behind. Attacker's had a bad, unfortunate couple of rounds. Interesting to see what happened to a few of the other cars today as well. Bradder's just starting his last lap. Bradders is through the first corner already. Pardon me, he is a disconnect away from winning a race. Second race of the day. Raven looks like he's side by side with Stevie, he is. Both keep it lovely and clean. Raven's got the traction to get the move done. Stevie should tuck himself in here. Get the drive down the straight, poke his nose out of the end and try and do something into the hairpin. The heaviest braking point on the track. If you're going to pull out anywhere, it'll be here. And he's tried. He's got the braking done. Oh, he couldn't get his braking done. Unfortunately didn't give Raven the option to brake and turn. So Raven had no choice but to straight line slightly. Looks like Tacker's having a go at throttle. Just jumped on board with that one just to see the car get the most amazing amount of traction in that corner. Bradders is into the stadium. Ravens closing up on Stevie again. There's only one more corner realistically to get the move done. Stevie's covered the inside line. It's only going to be a loss of traction coming out of here. It's going to even give Raven half a sniff. No, Stevie covered the right line. Bradders is about to cross the line for his second race win of the night. Congratulations, Bradders. Followed by Stevie. Just Stevie. Followed by Victor, Unfolded, Throttle, Tacker. Loyal is ahead of Trigger at the moment. Looks like there's a decent sized gap there. Nick for 10th. Cotsey 11th. Oh, looks like I missed a cracking end to that one. They've separated by a 10th. They crossed the line. Viper 13th, Shin 14th, Laurie 12th. Again, we're just going to let Shin go through the last couple of corners. Come over a lovely couple of races. Well, thank you very much for watching. These will be available on YouTube in about an hour. It's another week for the Ferraris. We're back next week. Thank you very much.